many decades, we were content to let our water slowly get worse. Those days are behind us, and we recognize that now we are on a continuous program of improvement for water quality across the state, and having all the stakeholders and large organizations like Denver Water, everybody at the table is going to allow us to do that.
We have to be proactive. We don't have a choice. The gross enlargement was highlighted in Colorado's water plan as a new way to do business in terms of looking at things in a regional and statewide level. The gross reservoir is highlighted as a way to meet some of that gap that we're going to have by 2050.
Rule 401 of the Clean Water Act is the one that kind of defines how do we make sure if we're going to have a project like this, it's large scale, it's going to add to storage capacity, how do we make sure that we're looking at all the possible consequences in terms of water quality?
This is really the final of the state's involvement, and so it says that the state is at a place where they're comfortable, and I think that that is huge.
I think that there are benefits for both sides of the divide on this project. On the west slope, you have a couple of different things that are really important. Denver Water has guaranteed that when there are temperature fluctuations that threaten the health of the river, that there'll be additional releases. The second is, in the driest years, Denver Water can release additional water downstream. That helps rivers across the west slope.
Those are the kinds of improvements that the mitigation enhancement plan are making possible so that we can actually take a river that's been in decline, stabilize it, and start bringing it back and make it actually a healthier system than it is today before the project.
Piece for the Front Range is really that having a little bit of additional capacity in Gross Reservoir not only addresses some of our supply needs, it also can really impact the health of South Boulder Creek, which at times also experiences really low flows, which is not good for fish and for wildlife.
I think probably one of the biggest environmental benefits is the ability to look at adaptive management and learning by doing.
Adaptive management is not setting anything in stone, essentially. If new issues come up, or say this mitigation doesn't work, we all come back to the table and talk about it, what's wrong and what's not working, and then try to resolve it with what we, with all of the tools that we have. So that is absolutely critical this day and age.
Learning by Doing is a partnership amongst Trout Unlimited, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, Grand County, of course Denver Water, Northern Water has gotten involved with it. These various stakeholders that are working together to take the resources that are being provided under the various agreements, including Denver Water's commitments as part of the Gross Reservoir Project, and look at how those can best be used year by year. So in one given year, for example, we might look at system flexibility that Denver has to help provide a flushing flow on one of the tributaries of the Fraser, and we'll take a look and monitor, see what actually happens, what kind of impact that creates, and learn from that, learn by doing. That's really sort of the next step, is where we start to see the promise of learning by doing and the promise of partnership converting into the reality of benefits for the river, and that's very exciting.
The net environmental benefit is that the environment and the ecosystems and the fish and wildlife species are going to be better off after the project than they were before the project. And ideally, this is the kind of project you want to work on.
It's that collaboration that we're most excited about, because it really means that all these folks who have a stake in the river and have something they can do for and with the river have a reason to be at the table, have a reason to be involved in helping make a difference.
I think that collaborative nature of the process is really a model that should be looked to in the future.
I think that's a great model for the rest of the state to make sure that we are going to be able to, as we continue to develop water security across the state, we're going to do it in such a way that our water quality continues to improve.